Live. Today I have the honor of interviewing Bronze Nazareth, a producer and MC. He came to fame as a producer for the Wu Tang. He's worked with many of the members of the Wu Tang clan to include the RZA, the GZA, Raekwon, Ghostface Killa, and many more. He's gone on to work with other artists outside of the Wu Tang and its affiliates such as Roc Marciano, Boldy James, Recognize Ali, and many, many more. Let's bring him in and talk to him about his career, his current plans, and what he's got coming up next.
What up, though? What's going on?
What an honor to have you on. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you for having me, bro. Very much, man. Very much. You know what
I
I mean?
appreciate you. Listen, man, I'm going to jump right into it.
Let's
I
go.
think people want to know what you got coming up next. Because
Okay.
2021, 2022, 2023, you've been on fire, and it's 2024, and I know you're cooking.
All day, man. Yeah, I got a lot of stuff coming, man. I got a couple solos that's in the works. One over all Kevlar 7 beats, you know, from the Wisemen. And then another joint with my beats. And then, you know, I just got a plethora of collabo projects. Working on tapping one out with Boldy James. We're almost done. I got one with my bro Terminology. We almost done. Got one with this cat named Four Eyes, who's an incredible talent from Chicago, Atlanta.
Four Eyes making the rounds, yeah.
Four Eyes is, you know, bar heavy, man. So, those are probably gonna round out my year right there, man. And you know, also, you know, I'm always doing work with my Black Day artists. Salute the Kid. We're deep into a project. My guy Woozy the God, you know, from Grand Rapids. Shout out Gun Rule. We done. You know what I'm saying? We about to throw that out there as well. So I'm kind of just in my collabo phase, and then, you know, about 8 different projects at once, man. Staying busy.
You
know what I mean?
So many gems. I think, you know, maybe we could talk about the one with Kevlar, right? Can you talk to us about, because that's a special project. Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah,
and for the people who don't know, maybe provide some context.
For sure. You know, Kevlar 7, man, my blood brother, you know what I'm saying, was also part of the great Wiseman squad. He was a great lyricist, and I also taught him how to make beats. So he has beats kind of in my vein, but with his own style. You'll hear Kev on like all of my joints. I got him on skits and all that shit. He passed away in 2014. Love that brother, man. Miss him dearly, man. So I try to keep his work going, because I know that's what he'll want, man. And so I don't got too many verses left from him, but I got about 300 beats, so I'm being selective and picking out some Kevlar bangers, and that's how I keep his stuff going, man. He also has a book of poetry he wrote. I'm trying to work on and get out there, and you know, it's just about keeping Kevlar 7 alive, man, through the music. And I know he'll want all of us to keep going. So yeah, it's a gem, man. It's a gem.
Beautiful, man. You're doing a good job of keeping his spirit alive through
Thank you, man.
music.
Thank you. That means a lot.
You know, letting people know who he was, and yeah, you talked
sir.
about the album that you're working on with him, and you know, I wanted to make sure that we had a moment and a chance to honor his name. And you know, there's a story that I heard, and maybe you can expand on it, where you, him, and Apollo Brown had a crib together, and that's such an important part of, you know, a milestone of where you got to where you're at. Maybe you could tell us about those early days.
Yeah, definitely, man. So the thing with that was I grew up, me and Apollo Brown, we've known each other since 6th grade. So we actually were roommates in college at Michigan State University. And after that, we wanted to jump into a bigger music scene in Grand Rapids. So me, Apollo, and Kev, we rented a crib in Detroit and moved on down to Detroit. So we was in there for 5 years, and you know, each had our own room cranking beats out. You know what I mean? So it was like a circus of beats in that motherfucker, man. Nothing but greatness. So that's we spent a lot of years together in the crib, and that was when we first moved to Detroit in 03. So
like a new
man, we did it. We had the crib, man. Yeah, Motown. Ward Street, right off the infamous Joy Road, man. You know what I mean?
Who came through there? Like, what
yes, sir. West
came through? Other than you and Apollo Brown and Kev, which is enough, right? But I imagine people came through there.
mean, we really didn't have a lot of people through there, man. I was working on the indie culture beats and working on Great Migration, and we did Wisemen approaching there, Thoughtful Food 1 and 2. So really, it was kind of only our stuff, and we were kind of just budding as artists and getting the name. So we didn't have a lot of guests, but me and Apollo and Kevlar
Oh,
said
for
we was
sure.
enough.
With Great Migration, and that's
Mhm.
where you did the. Were you already with the Wu Tang when you were in that house?
Um, yes, I was. I shot out to New York and finally signed with RZA in '02. So after that, I graduated school and then we moved to Detroit. So yeah, I
Yeah,
was with the clan already.
that's
Yep,
dope, man.
indeed.
And then I think that you touched on it, but there's a an album that you're really well known for, which is Wu Tang meets the indie culture. Was that also done at that
Yeah.
crib?
Yeah. Yes, that was done at that crib and then in 36 Chambers as well. I made all the beats at the crib. Then I shot out to 36 Chambers and we recorded and all that good stuff. So, Detroit, New York,
Yeah,
always
man.
a great connection, man.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Detroit's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
tough, man. You know what I'm saying? Like if they talk
Oh,
about
shit.
and New York's amazing, right? It's one of the most amazing
Yeah.
cities in the world. Not to take
Indeed.
anything from the birthplace of hip hop, right? But
Right.
come on, if you can make it in
Right.
Detroit, because Detroit got hit hard, right?
Yeah.
Detroit got hit hard economically, you know?
Facts. Definitely after the riots in '67, you know what I mean? We was down bad, man. And just we recovering nicely at this point. It's a lot going on here now. So although it's still a tough city, it's a real family vibe. And what I'm saying, it's a lot of new good stuff going
Gotta
on, you know
have
what I mean?
family. See,
Word.
that's the thing, man. That's the
Got to.
thing that
Got to.
in when if you've got to have friends and family, and you got to kind of like live right, because it's a slippery
Right.
slope.
Right. It is, man.
Yeah,
You can fall quick, man. And if you don't got nobody there to support you like that, people you can depend on, especially in your tough times. Shit, it's gonna be a rough go, man.
yeah,
Family is
family's
deep, man.
important.
Family
You got to
important.
move right.
Word.
You touched on Michigan State, and moving there
Yeah.
after to Detroit after you wrapped up. Your background academically was in psychology. Is that right? Can you
Yes,
talk
sir.
to us about
Yes. Yep.
like what your focus, because psychology is very broad. What did you focus in psychology?
Right. I focus on um the society and
Yeah.
the like depression. My big ass school paper was on child
Wow.
schizophrenia. You know what I mean? So we I think I did just major psychology, all the studies under it. But like it was a
Yeah.
focus on counseling as well, because like when I moved to Detroit, I was a
Yeah.
social worker and shit. So I
In
was
Detroit.
counseling families and shit. You know what I mean? So yeah, in Detroit, man,
Wow.
in the gutter,
Wow.
man, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
we can
Yep.
hear it in your rhymes. That's why they go deep. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? There's like layers to what
Yeah.
you're talking about. Lyric.
Yeah, man. I try to pack a lot in every line, man. So like I feel like it's art. So if we ain't writing some top notch new art, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? What we doing?
Yeah,
You know what
that's
I'm saying?
dope, man. That's dope.
Word.
And it's interesting that you studied that specifically, because we've entered into like a kind of like an age of anxiety. You know? But that
Yeah,
wasn't
facts,
like in
man.
the 90s coming up, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't, I
Yeah.
remember like I didn't know what an anxiety attack was until my mid to late 20s.
Right.
But now kids are
Same,
having
bro.
it all the time.
Like
It's real interesting.
it is. It's deep, man. It's like they got new diagnoses for everything, but it's stuff that have been going on that we now have focused on and we've defined and shit. So it's definitely it's a lot of
Yeah.
mental illness, a lot of mental struggles going on. You know what I'm saying? I just seen that fucking. I'm a big boxing fan. I seen Roy Jones Jr.'s son committed suicide
Oh,
yesterday.
I
I'm like,
didn't know
damn,
that.
man,
I'm a big
that's
boxing fan too,
wild.
and Roy
Yeah.
Jones
So
is one of the
yeah,
goats.
man, what? Absolutely. So my heart sunk when I heard that, man. But yes,
Yeah,
it's a lot going on, man. It's a
yeah.
lot going on mentally.
I think
Yeah.
one of the things also is with men specifically. Like everybody
Yeah.
obviously is important, but I think that oftentimes men keep it bottled
Right.
up, and out in LA there's a
Yeah.
big
Keep it
homeless
bottled up.
problem, right? But it's like
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
70, 80
Yeah.
percent men. then it falls through the cracks
Wow.
somehow, and then I ask for help, and
Right.
you
Right.
know, so it's a fascinating
Yeah.
situation.
It's a big
Yeah,
black hole, man.
it
Yeah.
is
It's
tough.
just tough.
It is
Tough. I
tough.
hope
I'm here in the Arts
we
District. I'm
figure some
like three
things out.
blocks away from Skid Row, so it's like here it's kind of like
Yeah.
clean and dope, and they keep it
Yeah.
artsy. You know what I'm saying? Like it's, and you just go a little
Hmm.
bit over there, and there's major drug problems, and
Yeah. Is it like Fat Beats over there
yeah,
somewhere?
yeah.
I, yeah, we went over there like to when we did the Roc Marciano album. We had to
It's
walk through a
wild
little bit of Skid
out
Row, and I
here,
was like,
man.
"Oh shit, this shit is
Yeah,
wild, bro! Fuckers just pissing in the street, fighting,
it's wild.
chasing each other. That shit was
It's like you
wild, bro.
got like all these
It's crazy over there,
studios,
bro.
and you've got like Soul Assassins right here. They're
Yeah,
shooting movies and videos, like
that
everything
shit
with
was
like fashion industry.
crazy.
Like it's all outside. You just walking around, people doing photo shoots. But you just go one block over, and you're in Skid Row.
Right? Wow,
It's crazy.
it's crazy,
It's
man.
crazy.
It's
You
wild,
I mean,
wild,
I could
bro.
talk to you like about these types of things. Like I care about it, and you have a background in it. But I want to get back. I want to get back to the
Oh,
music because I know that
absolutely,
that's
man.
what the people want. And I heard you say a solo album. You know, we talked about the Kev album,
Yeah.
but is there a
Mhm.
self-produced solo album on the way?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I keep that in the vault, man, and you know I'm one of them producers, man. That I set a few of my beats aside. You know what I mean? So you can always expect some of the best heavyweight beats on my shit, and this one's no different, man. I don't really got no title yet, but I'm about 6 songs in. Um, yeah, so cranking away. I plan to have a really big
Yeah,
2025 of
yeah,
solos. You know what I mean?
yeah.
At least three.
That's
At
dope,
least three.
man.
You know what I'm saying?
That's dope.
So
Now, how
yeah.
like you've been in the game for so long that you've watched the technology evolve. Everything from like, drum pads, ASR 10 with the swing meter, all the way now that people are using dolls and
Yeah.
royalty free loop packs, which is kind of dope too. But it ain't nothing like digging. How are you producing nowadays?
Right. Um, I'm still mainly digging a lot. I do fuck around with
Yeah.
some of the sample packs. But I'll show you. You can see my little record shelf right here.
Oh, you got to look like a record store. That's a straight record store.
Yeah, yeah, I got the record store shelf and shit. So yeah, so I do a lot of digging still. That's my main shit. I love it. But I do a lot of I've been doing a lot of no
Yeah,
sample stuff too that I'm trying to keep on the level of my sample stuff.
yeah,
So I'm trying to make sure the quality is good. And because I want to make some of my own original shit too. At some point, I'll probably do a Bronze Nazareth no sample album, but still gonna be gutter. But yeah, man, I dig. I might find some shit online. For
yeah.
me, it's all about what
Yeah.
sound I'm hearing, man, and the melody. You know what I mean?
What we've heard your music, right? But to hear it from the producer, what era, what sounds, what genres do you feel that you're most heavily inspired by to create your hip hop music? Because you're making hip hop out of it, but what's that? What do you go digging through in the record store?
I love
Mm,
soul. Soul
yeah,
music is probably my favorite. Um, I love like the 70s rock. They got some crazy stuff in the 70s rock music. So I would say about
yeah.
probably 70s soul shit and 68 through 73 or so
Oh yeah,
with the old rock,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like Three Dog
Oh
Night, you
yeah,
know what I mean? Shit like that, dig around, man. So those are probably my two favorite. And then like when I started way back, I was chopping up
yeah.
classical music. So I like a lot of strings as well. And I'll dip into a classical record and pull some strings out of there and throw it on something else. You know what I mean? Pitch
That's
it
dope.
up, whatever. So
Yeah.
I'm all over the place,
Now I
man.
love that era of music too. That's my if it's not hip hop, I'm listening to like the '60s and '70s. It's such a special
Fact,
time.
man.
You always you never stop finding
Well,
gems.
no, never, man. It's like when they were back in the 70s, 60s, 50s with the soul shit. They had, you had Motown, all the commercial stuff, but you had just like hip hop now,
Yeah,
you had a whole underground of soul singers that was trying to make it. Like soul was the old hip hop, you know what I mean?
That's
So
dope.
yeah, man, you can
Soul
find gem upon
was the
gem.
old hip
You know
hop.
what I
Yeah, like Otis Redding was hard.
mean?
You know
Yeah,
what I'm
Otis was
saying?
the
People don't think
shit, bro.
about that because he
Woo!
can sing,
One
but
of my
he was
favorites.
hard.
One of my favorites. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely, man.
that's dope.
Yep.
That's dope.
Yep.
You mentioned the name. When
Yeah.
you were talking, you opened up, man. You just dropped all these gems. You're like, oh, this is what's coming, right? So
Drops
we're
the
gonna,
bombs
we're gonna
on
kind of
you.
walk through it.
Yeah.
You dropped the name that just
What's
been
up?
making. He's been making so much noise over the last 12 months. Boldy James, Detroit, Detroit.
Oldie.
You know what I'm saying? Detroit at its finest. Talk
Yes,
to us
sir.
about that.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, man, Bodie, shit, I had the studio on Grand River in Greenfield. The Detroiters know what I'm talking about. I had a studio over there, and one of my good homeboys, P, and it started bringing through this cat, Boldy. This was like
It
oh
was
07,
early.
oh 08. So yeah, so Boldy would come through, throw some shit down. Jump on some over here. I got numerous like Boldy verses and shit on projects here and there. And so me and Boldy been rocking since over 10 years, bro. That's my dude, man. He calls me his bro, his brother. So yeah, the album with me and him, we got we 9 joints in. I'm waiting to get him back over here and tap the rest out, man. He
Yeah.
be moving around a lot. But yeah, that's my bro, man, and it's nothing but dope ass beats and them dope ass bars from Bodie. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's a good relationship I've had for many years, and we actually been cranking for a while. Like some of these songs are probably
Yeah.
2013,
You've been in the
2012, just a couple of
box.
them. But man, it's amazing,
Yeah.
man. Crazy
That's
work.
the
Word
thing
up.
about the sound that's like kind of like that hip hop sound, that boom bap golden era sound. There's no expiration date on it really. If
Hmm.
it's dope,
Right,
it lasts.
right. That's Yeah, that's my goal too. It's like I always told my niggas like, yo, we got to make timeless
Mm-hmm.
music. Like if you pick up Great Migration right now and you never heard it, you might think that shit came out in 23. You know what I mean? Because I just try to keep the quality there, and yeah, like some stuff don't age well. But that's one of my goals is to keep the music timeless so you can listen to it in 20 years and still get that same feeling and not be like, man, this shit didn't age
Yeah,
well type of shit. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
That's
Or
dope, and you're doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like you've
yes, sir.
got a
Thank you,
loyal fan
man. Thank
base
you.
that follows what you're doing, and it's
Thank
dope.
you, man.
You
Thank you.
mentioned another
Word up.
name that's been making noise for a long time. I think he just did his 50th
Yeah.
project. Right, right.
Yeah. Fucking
This
amazing.
might be
Fucking
54 now.
amazing,
We're
man.
gonna talk about it. What talk to us about the terminology for him?
Hmm. Our term is just, man, just a
Yeah,
fucking good dude, man. He came over here to Detroit, the Black Day Studio, and man, we cranked the joint out in 3 or 4 days. So yeah, and we linked up. We got along real good, and a lot of future stuff coming with my boy Term. Like I said, genuine dude, amazing artist,
yeah.
knows how to put a song together. And so we got, I think we got 12 in the can right now. So we're just kind of in the stage of mixing, finishing a couple verses here and
Arranging
there,
the
and then
album, and
that's
yeah,
out, putting the
yeah.
puzzle together.
That's
Yep,
dope, man.
yep, yep.
The you
So,
from the
yeah,
era where you started, right, which is kind of like the major label era when hip hop um, wasn't the way that
mhm,
it is now, where we had so much. Indie artists didn't have as much power as they do now. Now you could
right.
release tapes, CDs, vinyl, merch, do a whole rollout. Um, how has that changed in your experience and knowledge of working with the biggest? The Wu Tang is like as Netflix series of you were in with them. How has it changed? Talk to us about what you've learned and how you do your rollouts.
Oh man, um, it's like you gotta like for a while there, I didn't know what to do. Like I was dropping shit, but I wasn't fully into the social media mix yet, or the total independent shit yet. Cause yeah, you're right. I started out with labels, man. I had Baby Grand. I had this label out in Seattle. I was always on labels in the early part, and so I was kind of used to that shit being on
Yeah,
autopilot. You know what I mean? So when I think we had like a bad fucking release set up with the Wiseman's second album, Children of a Lesser God. And that was I did School for the Blind and Children of a Lesser God on a distribution deal with iHip Hop Distribution, which is
Yeah.
also Baby Grand. But so we had to release. It didn't go well. I quit messing with them. And like I say, I messed with a couple other labels, but I started watching and I'm like, dog, these motherfucking labels ain't doing shit that I can't do. Like, so it like I started catching up with the social media, getting into my shit, pushing shit, doing what I'm supposed to do. Still not the greatest at that, but I I learned the new age shit. Like I learned it. Motherfuckers ain't buying your records no more. They're streaming that shit. Period. So I started
Yeah.
doing my own shit. Indie label Black Day we started, but we was dropping albums and just pushing them on social media. And so like had a booking agent, shout out my man Gage. He ended up just start helping me manage shit with Black Day, my label. And so we started putting shit out, and then we was like, bro, okay, I know what this is. We need a fucking PR person. The social media ain't shit for promotion. You get a few fans and shit that fuck with it, but you gotta get with the people that have the relationships that can put you in Ambrosia for Heads and Stereo Gum. And so we started working with a few PR companies. Steam and Kettle was my favorite. So we worked with PR companies in the realization that it don't matter what type of music you put out, don't matter how your skill level is. If people don't know about it, it don't matter that you put that shit out. So that's something that I learned big, and that shit costs.
Yeah.
PR, this shit costs. So if you ain't ready to invest in yourself, you're not really ready
Yeah.
to put your shit out there properly. And so I would say that's my biggest switch. I had to go from autopilot with the I mean, I'm gonna age myself, but we was recording on
Yeah.
reel to reel in
2-inch
36
tape.
chambers, bro. And yes, so after that and switching to Pro Tools, I also learned how to speed my whole shit up because I get tired of
Yeah.
waiting on motherfuckers. So I'll fuck around and learn Pro Tools, which I did. Shout out White Lotus who taught me a little bit. And I fuck it. I get on Photoshop and do my own cover. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? This is how
That's
you
hip
cut the
hop too.
budget. It's that independent shit. Yeah. You figure it out. And once I realized that independent really ain't no different than what these labels are doing. They might throw you a little better promo, a little money up front, but man, you can get all that shit
Yeah.
on your own, bro. So that was my transformation, was learning from the old
Yeah.
to the new and actually doing that shit. Like you can look at it and see it, not do it, but I got my
Yeah.
hands dirty. You know what I mean?
You're sharing a lot of game, man. Thank you. Good.
Word up,
Yeah.
word
You
up,
got one of
word
the
up.
best looking websites I've seen in a minute. Yeah.
Thank
'Cause,
you,
I always go,
thank you, man. Big
nowadays,
stove.
what I'm saying, everybody kind of just leans on the social media. So when I go in and make sure that I'm doing robust research, right, I go to all the socials, but then I go to the
Mm-hmm.
websites also. People's websites often link back to the social media or to like a link tree, you know? Nah,
Yes,
your
sir.
website's
Yep,
on point.
yep. Yeah, man. We'll try to put
Yeah.
everything up there, man, and run them through that full experience, man. So
Yeah,
thank you, man.
nah,
I'm
it's
glad you
dope.
peeped that,
And
though.
what's interesting about the Bronze Nazareth website, you got the record label and your own website,
Hmm.
is,
Right.
you talk about production, emceeing, and tour dates, like actual booking, right? And then you got the merch also. So you've got the
Right.
multiple streams of income and
Mhm.
different ways that people can work with you, whether they want to cop beats, whether they want you as an MC, right? Whether they want to hire you to go perform or whether they want to cop some merch, some vinyl, whatever, all right there. So it's really, really dope.
Every year,
Yeah.
right there. Yeah, like I did a consultation with this cat Big Stowe. Definitely recommend him. He's the get a website guy. So I already had a website on him though, but yeah, he helped me out with some of that marketing stuff, what to put up there, how to do some rollout,
Yeah.
shit like that. So definitely get some advice, you know what I'm saying? Get some marketing skills and shit and
Yeah.
learn from some
It's
motherfuckers, man.
dope.
Word up.
And the music
Yeah.
videos, talk to us about that, because that's one of the things that you're also really good at is that you and the people that you produce for, right? So it's like you're bringing,
Yeah.
it's basically, if you get down with Bronze Nazareth, you're going to help in every way, because I see you working on albums, right? But then you're giving it the same
All day.
treatment you do your own projects, where they're coming out with two,
Facts,
three
man. Facts.
music videos that I could tell that you're in the videos. You know what I'm saying? You got a hand in it. Talk to us about the
Yeah.
visual
Yeah.
aspect of your artistry.
Yeah, man. That's another thing.
Yeah.
I said, fuck it. I got tired of waiting for video editors and shit. Bought my own 4K camera, you know what I mean? So I can go out, shoot some scenes on my own, give them to a different editor that'll get it done faster. And then, like I say, my thing is we used to pull up on some graffiti and shoot a scene, and now I'm like, niggas, we can't do that no more. We gotta come with better ideas and scenes and real thoughts for these visuals, because like this another gem. Every time I do a video that accompanies a single, the stream is almost double. You know what I mean?
You
So,
can see it.
and
You
that's
can
even
see
on
it.
like
We invested this
I can see
time.
it. Yeah, I can
Look at
see.
the number.
I could drop a video on YouTube, and when I go look at the Spotify numbers, everyone that I dropped a YouTube video for, which is
Yeah.
no link to Spotify, has more streams. So that tells you they checking the video out, and then they go into Spotify and saving it. So it's just that guerrilla shit, man. Guerrilla marketing, pushing it.
So,
You know what I
are
mean?
you in the? Are
Yeah.
you in the? You. I mean, you were discovered by the RZA. The RZA showing his talent as a visual artist, and he's out here in
Yeah.
LA. I think. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
do you have interests? Other than shooting your own music videos, in cinematography, movies, and things of that nature.
Yeah, definitely, man. I think you can't rap forever, man. Jizza might be proving
Yeah.
us wrong, but yeah, I'm definitely interested in film. I kind of like documentaries and shit like that. We're working on a Bronze and Wisemen documentaries, so I'm gonna have a big hand in that shit. So yeah, man, definitely. I think that after you're real seasoned in music, that it's a natural transition to visuals. You know what I mean? Because you got your music you could use your memory for, but when you have your music and the visual to it, or your story and the visuals to it, it's totally enhanced. So yeah, man, absolutely. And I'm also working on 2 books as well. One of them is a lyric book, and then one of them is my own biography. So I'm cranking all
That's
media.
dope.
You know what I mean?
So the lyric
Yeah.
book, is it going to
Yeah.
be like basically all your songs and an explanation of what's that one going to entail?
Yeah, it's not gonna be
Not
all
too
of them,
many.
because we like the list we put together. I think we brought up to. I think he said it'd be about up to 250 pages already. So we got about 35, 40 verses, and the journalist, his name is Peter Quadrino. Call him P. That's my guy. He'll take a verse, he'll break down what he thinks it means, and he'll write it out and all that. And I'll be like, "Yep, that's you on point," or I'll be like, "No, this is what I meant right here. Let me break it down and get further into it." And so we're just kind of having this dialogue back and forth about this verse, and it's also including pictures, and also it's kind of a little bit like Decoded, where I've got the background story to some of these verses and what went into them, where I was, some shit that happened writing the verse, or why I wrote the verse. So it's man, it's a thrilling manuscript, man, and I'm glad that it's coming out in writing, because I think a lot of the times people can hear you rap, hear your song, but when you look at the actual words, it's like, oh shit, he said that. Oh, that's what he meant. So that's what I'm trying to give the listeners, man, a real close view
That's
into
dope.
those bars. You know what I mean?
And for the people who don't know,
Yeah.
when you mentioned Decoded, you're talking about the Jay-Z book, Decoded. Yeah. And
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
yeah,
One of my
it's a
faves right
dope
there.
book.
Yep.
The
Yes.
the what's really interesting is, like, I'm a hip hop head, you're a hip hop head. Like, I hear the lyrics, I hear like the subtleties and the double entendres, and this is my whole
Yeah.
universe, right? But my girl, for instance, like, she likes a whole other type of music, and she likes hip hop, but it's like the beat and the flow, and she doesn't go bar deep. So
Right.
and
Right.
it's not even like pop hip hop. She'll like some boom bap stuff, but she doesn't hear what I hear.
Mhm.
So I think that a book
Yeah,
like that is really
yeah,
good for a lot of people. Yeah,
I agree. I agree, and I think that even if you're not really into hip hop, if you're into poetry and like just like writing, because a lot of my shit, man, is like multi
yeah,
levels and shit. So if you're really into writing and figuring it out and like reading about it, people gonna listen to it even if they don't fucking. I mean, people gonna
yeah,
read it even if they don't listen to
yeah.
it. You know what I mean? So
It
it's
is
pretty
dope.
dope.
And you know what's interesting is as big as hip hop is, and as many people that have worked on books, it's not an area that's oversaturated. There's so many MCs and not that many books really. There's more and more, but not a
Right.
lot. Not a lot really. Yeah.
Yeah, very facts, man. I just got Questlove's book, Hip Hop is History, and he got one of my songs in there on the
So
list. So I
did
was
you
like,
know
oh
or
shit.
you
So
found out while you
yeah,
were
man.
reading it?
Actually, I seen a post that somebody else posted. Thank you for putting me in your book, Questlove. And I looked down a couple spaces later, and I was on that motherfucker. So yeah, I think it was a post from Vic Spencer.
That's a good
Yeah. So
feeling.
yeah, I
It's
was
a
like,
good
what?
feeling.
Yeah.
And then you
So
mentioned the other book
good,
is
good.
your own biography. Is it an autobiography?
Yeah.
You're writing it? Yeah.
Right. Right. Yep. I'm writing it, laying it out slowly. Just from my time growing up to my endeavors in music and the background, what was going on behind the
Yeah.
music. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be very,
Well,
very, very
I mean, it's
interesting, man.
fascinating because
Word
you
up.
had a whole career in music and were already doing stuff independently, and
Right.
selling records over in Europe and stuff before the Wu Tang, before you connect when
Yeah.
you're in college,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
grind
Fact.
is legendary, and then
Ooh,
the
you
connection with the
you on
Wu,
your homework,
you know what I'm
man. I love
saying?
it. Yep. 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 Yeah. Me and Kev we had an album we did while I was in college called The Unknown. Um. Shit. I think we put it out in 98, 97. And then we got, after I signed with Baby Grand, they wanted to re-release it. So we signed a deal with them to put it back out. So yeah, man, me and Kev, man, we were selling records, sending them, just shipping them ourselves overseas, getting on stations and shit like that.
Dope.
So yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Had a little
That
juice.
that early juice. Then you
Yeah.
got the big juice. What was it
Yeah.
like? Well, I mean, this is probably a good segue for people who've never heard the story. If you could share with us a little bit how the connection with the Wu Tang, the RZA, and how that all happened.
Okay, so I was in college working on that Unknown album, and I probably was one of the first niggas to do this, but I had a website and I found out I could put like 12 to 15-second WAV file snippets up there. So I put snippets of me and Kev's whole album on there. And like you said, we were shipping them overseas and the other. And then I got an email from this cat named Silver Rings. He's like, yo, who does those beats? Are those yours? I'm like, yeah, I did them. And he's like, well, I'm the first European Wu Tang Killer B. I signed with Razor Sharp Records. Send me some more. So I was like, what? And by no coincidence, Wu Tang was my favorite
Yeah.
shit at that point. Wu Tang Forever, classic. So that was my favorite shit. So I sent him some beats over. He loved them. He fucked with them. And so he wanted me to start producing on his Rings and Partners music label. I was like, shit, bet. Let's go. It wasn't really no strings attached. We'll put the shit out, make some bangers, and see how it
Where
goes.
was he in
We
Europe?
never got a project done. He was in the Netherlands, Tilburg. Yeah, yeah. So he was in the Netherlands, and we just sent his shit online. And so at some point, after I sent maybe 30, 40 beats or so, he just hit me like, bro, I got to get you to RZA. So thankfully for Silver Rings, he led me to jump into 4 trips to New York on the dirty ass Greyhound. Um, the first 3 times I would get to New York and Silver Rings would tell me, "Yo, RZA gonna be here. He gonna be over there. Just pull up and I'll see if I can get him to talk to you or whatever." So I'm like, "All right, bet." So the first 3 times didn't see RZA. He never came through. Didn't happen. The 4th time I pulls up to 36 Chambers and I'm outside and just at that moment, Ninth Prince walks up from Killer Army. And so we start chatting chatting a little bit, and then I show him some music. I had my headphones ready, and he was like, "You did this?" I'm like, "Yeah." So he invited me up. So next thing I know, me and Kev are sitting in 36 Chambers, man. So this was at like 1 p.m. Me and Kev sat in that motherfucker till like
You're
1
like, we're not
a.m.
going anywhere. We're in
Nothing.
36 days.
No, we ain't going nowhere. We was over at the table playing chess.
That's
I got a
good.
picture of it. We at the table playing chess, and finally 1 a.m. RZA, Jizza, Master Killer walk in. So I'm like, okay, all right, bet. So, but they start handling business. I ain't want to run up and be like, yo, it's me. You know what I mean? So I played it cool. I waited for a bit. Then around like 4 a.m., I heard them talking about, let's go to the club. I was like, no, brother. So I got up. I just went right over to Riz and I was like, yo, I heard you about to leave, man. I kind of been waiting. So can I just get 5 minutes? And he looked at me and he looked at the door. And then he was like, all right, I got 5 minutes. He took me into the orchestra pit. I showed him my song called Blowgun. He took the headphones off and he looked at me and he said, yeah, man, I got enough rappers, man. But I want you to join the Wu Elements. So I was like, oh, okay. Because he actually did the beat too. I forgot that part. He said, who did this beat? I said, oh, that was me. And so he said he had enough rappers, but he wanted me to join the Wu Elements production team. And the next day came back through and we made it official, man.
So
And
that's such a good story, man.
history since
And I
then.
think what's so fascinating, especially for everybody else, you know what I'm saying, is the 3 times you went to New York and didn't connect. That's the part
Right.
people want to blow over. That's the real. That's the
Yeah.
real grind. Like, so those three, you went with.
Right.
Did you go with Kev all 4 times?
Nope. The first time I went alone. Second time I went alone. Third time I went alone.
Kev was
Kev went with me on the
your
fourth
lucky
time only.
charm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
that,
Absolutely, man. Kev.
that's good, man.
K7.
The So when you would go, first of all, Detroit and New York aren't exactly close. You catch the Greyhound there. How long
Yeah.
of a trip is that?
I think it was like 15 to 17 hours.
And
It's
Greyhound
tough.
buses aren't
It's
necessarily
tough.
luxurious either.
No, and that's back with ain't no Wi-Fi, ain't no real cell phone. Like
Yeah,
you could call, but
yeah,
you can't look at shit. So yeah,
yeah.
it was hardcore, man.
And when you would
It
get
was that real
there,
shit. And
where
I
would you
think most
stay at?
motherfuckers, I would just get a hotel. Actually, sometimes Silver Rinks put me up on it. The YMCA had rooms for like $80 a night, so I'd be in the YMCA, bro. Real talk. I didn't have a lot back then, so I was like, I'll stay wherever, bro. What's up? You know what I mean? So yeah, I stayed at the YMCA. I think it was on Lexington, man. Yeah,
That right there, see,
yeah,
man, that's
yeah.
that right there. The fact that it all worked out, the rest is history. You know what I'm saying? But that
Yeah,
grind is not guaranteed.
that's
Yeah.
it. Yeah, because in those first
Oh
three
yeah.
times, a lot of people would have quit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A lot
Yeah.
of people don't get on the
So
bus. A
indeed,
lot of
bro.
people don't get on the bus.
Yeah,
They
indeed.
don't get on the bus 4 times. That's rarefied
Right.
air.
Right. That's a fact. That's a fact, man. I don't know, man. I always been determined, man. If I feel like I want to make shit happen, I'm gonna make it happen. So
That's
I got that drive.
yeah.
You know
And
what I
then
mean?
what happens after that?
After that,
Because you produced
let me
on
see.
Birth of a
That
Prince, right?
next,
The RZA album.
right? Yep. I RZA called me to New York, 2003, and I basically stayed the whole summer in New York. RZA had an apartment that he had me. I think her name was Erica and this cat Fatty. So it was just me and a couple other artists. Fatty was one of the management dudes. I don't even know what happened to Fatty, man. I ain't heard or seen him in years. But yeah, so we stayed there the whole summer, man. And that summer we did Birth of a Prince joints, man. So and that was my debut, you know what I mean?
That's so
So
dope.
yeah, I think it came out like that. Like I think it came out that October or
Yeah.
September. So yeah, man, it was a hell of a summer, man. I would get up every day and be at
Yeah.
36 Chambers at 3 p.m. And then we'll go from like 3 or 4 in the morning. Casablanca Club was across the street. We'll go to that club at night. I went there one famous night with RZA, Old Dirty, and
Wow.
Kinetic Nine. We just walked in, treated like royalty. It was dope, man.
That's
It
good,
was
man.
dope. So
Now,
word up.
36 Chambers was in Manhattan. Where was the apartment that you were staying at that summer? Okay.
It was Manhattan. It was I want to say 33rd and First. Yeah, it was over there, but yep. And I think Wu Tang was on 37th Street. Yep, 36 West 37th used to be there. Yep. So not too many blocks, and I was there, man. So and the apartment was dope, man. They said Derek Jeter stayed in that apartment as well when I was there. So I was like,
You're
wow,
living all
okay.
right.
They had the fucking security, all that shit. I was like, this is beautiful, yeah. They had the maid come in every day, clean up for you, clean the kitchen, all that shit.
It's
I
gonna
was
be a
like,
good
wow,
book.
okay.
Hey, it's
I
gonna
can get
be a
used to this
good
shit.
book. That's
Yeah, bro.
good, man.
Yeah.
And then,
Yep.
after that, there came so many other, songs and albums with the Wu, right? With different members of the Wu, right? Inspector Deck, Ghostface, right? Talk to us about how that unpacked. Because first, you come out, you discovered, then you work with the RZA. Then how did that work? How did the inside work? Where like, this person hit you up, that person hit you up. How did those relationships unpack and unravel?
I really didn't, bro. It was like once like RZA let me in, it was like, all right, you got these joints, every man for yourself. So I learned very early to walk my own dogs. It wasn't like it wasn't no company letter sent out that, yo, we just signed Bronze. I want you to work with him. It was just like, here's the new guy. You know what I mean? So some of them I kind of had to convince that I'm 100 and I ain't on nothing, man. I'm just
Yeah,
making good music and shit. You know what I mean? But yeah, eventually we all got cool and we all worked and the members I'm really close with, probably our deck, Master Killer, RZA. Yeah, man, them probably my closest guys right
yeah,
there. They fucks with me. You
yeah.
know what I mean? So still down, man. I keep my relationships together, man. I don't burn bridges. I always try to remain righteous and shit. So you know what I
Yeah,
mean? I'm
that's dope,
stand up on it.
man. Yeah, what's so interesting about the Wu Tang is that they obviously are like such a big deal in hip hop, but I think outside of the United States, people don't realize how global they are. They are iconic,
Very much
iconic,
so.
like
Everywhere. Yeah. Fucking
the
Rolling
Rolling
Stones to
Stones and
rap,
rap.
bro.
That's a good one. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really
Yeah.
really
Yep.
dope. There's
Indeed.
another name that perhaps has not reached that level yet, but you've had um, the pleasure of working with him closely, which is Roc Marciano, right? Which in this in
Yeah.
this in
Yeah.
this hip hop thing, this beautiful thing that we have, is one of the top dogs right now. Talk to us about that relationship, that album that y'all worked on together, and you as such a talented producer working with him on with him doing production. How that came about, the conversation, the album. Talk to us about
Excuse me. So, I mean, that kind of came about. I was with a label, Man
it.
Bites Dog Records, 2013, and Roc Marciano was one of the A&Rs over there, and so we ended up doing A3C together. Um, and we was just cool, man. We just kind of had a mutual respect. You know what I'm saying? I'm never one of them niggas that's all rock, all jizz, all. No, I'm
Right.
laid back. I'm cool. I'm chill, and I think a lot of people respect that. And so we always, like I said, we had a mutual respect. So 2021, I was just like, man, what should well, I need to spark something. What should I fuck with? And as Rock was tearing shit up, I Mount Marcy and all that shit. I was a big listener. And so I'm like, dog, why don't I ask Rock if he want to
Yeah.
fuck with me on some beats? And so yeah, we hit him up, man, and bro, he was game, man. We made sure and took care of him, and he just sent me the beats, man, and I started writing. I wrote the whole shit in like four
Yeah, you
weeks.
start getting those beats, you're like,
Um,
yo.
man, I was like, wow, yo. So yeah, man, and it's dope to work with another producer because um myself, I've heard my
Yeah.
beats a million times, so
Mm.
that newness sometimes that newness of a fresh new beat can just spark something in you as opposed to something you've heard a bunch of times already. So yeah, so I find it pretty easy to work with other people's beats and the emotions they bring and you know, craft them into my world, you know what I mean? So yeah, like I said, he gave me them joints. I knocked him out. He called me. He was reviewing it I think he was at the gym. He said he was fucking with it heavy. And shit, threw it out there, man. It's one of my biggest
Yeah,
releases,
that's
man.
a big
Absolutely. It really put me on the I kind of felt like I was a little looked over by these new golden era cats, man. Like so to get over into the Roc Marcy kind of Griselda fucking
yeah,
East Coast new
yeah.
golden era shit
The new
was
renaissance.
it was just what I needed, man. Yes, absolutely. Just what I needed, man. And the Godfather, Roc
Yeah.
Marciano, who better? You know what I mean? So shout out
That's
Roc
dope,
Marcy,
man.
man.
That's dope. Thank you for sharing that. You said something interesting there.
Yeah,
You said the beats came over and you're able to tap into the emotions, right? Can you talk to us about your creative
yeah,
process of like when you write a song, like as an MC, because you're so well known as a producer, but you
yeah.
started as an MC. You know what I'm saying? So can you talk to us about, when
Facts,
you write a
facts.
song, what's it like? How do you do it?
Shit. When I write a song, it's like gotta find that, gotta find the dope starting line. You know what I mean? That's important to me. And then like I'll write my verse. I'll sit down. Just like anybody. I'm in the studio. I play the verse. I sit down and write. I still use the pen and paper, man. Like every cat that
Right,
come
right.
through be on their phone now, but I like to scribble that shit on paper sometimes still. Most of the time still. So I put it on paper and then I might type it up. And as I type it up, I'm looking at lines and I'm saying to myself, yo, this line is kind of weak. This could be stronger right here. And I fix it. So it's kind of like a rough draft, second draft, third draft until I feel like every line is crucial. You know what I mean? So I also do. It depends on where I'm at. If I'm at the crib, pencil, paper. If I'm at the fucking
Yeah,
studio somewhere else, I do it on the phone. But it's all tapped into emotion and
yeah,
feeling. You know what I mean? I want you to feel what I say. I want you to hear something I said and be like, damn, I feel that same shit. Um, so that's what I'm looking for when I write. I want to connect with the listener. I want them to fucking
yeah.
relate to me. I want them to hear what the fuck I said and be like, damn, I want to go to Detroit. Motherfucker hit me. I seen I forget who this was, but a person made a comment on one of my songs a few weeks ago, and he said, man, I was listening to Bronze Nazareth, and man, I woke up and Detroit was crazy. And then I realized I never been to Detroit a day in my life. So that's
Because you
that's
described
basically
it.
like that's how I want you to hear it, man. Like I want people to feel it, man. And I'm not just talking, man. Every word for me, every word is important. You know what I mean? So that's my process. I go over it until I got every line right. Sometimes I feel like I don't need to fix something right away. Sometimes I might be fixing shit for 2 weeks. So every rhyme is different depending on where I'm going with it. What's the point of it? What's the feel?
Yeah,
What's the goal? You know what I mean? So I'm all over the place, but I would say it's the rough draft. And then like even my artists will tell like salute. We'll run through something, be like, yo, this line here, bro. I do it just like I do my shit. So my man's jumped in the booth. I was doing highlighting on his shit. And so he jumped in the booth and he saw one of my rhymes still
right.
on the
He's like,
on the
what's
on
this?
the music stand with
Yeah,
the
yeah,
same with
yeah,
the
yeah.
same highlights. So he was like, "Oh, okay. So you not just picking on me, man. You correcting. You do this yourself." I was like, "Yeah, that's how we get the top notch shit, man.
That's
You know what I
dope.
mean?"
What do you highlight
Yeah.
like the ad
Yeah.
libs?
Nope. Ad libs. I don't even write ad libs, man. I really just write the bars, and then I'll come up with ad libs off my head. But yeah, bro, it's line for line. You know what I
Good,
mean?
man. That's good. Thank
Yeah.
you for sharing the creative
Yep.
process. The I wanted to ask,
Indeed. Indeed.
you know, the name of your name, Bronze Nazareth. Then you've got like Wisemen and so many of your songs and album titles. Then also you studied psychology. You worked before you made it in music as a social worker, right? So there is like a spiritual inclination, right? Nazareth, Wisemen, psychology, right? Can you talk to us about some of that kind of underlying operating system, whether it's you know, personal development, religious? Can you talk to us, share a little bit of your operating system as a human?
Yes, for sure, bro. I think, like you said, that's more kind of my humanity coming in. I, I believe in a higher power, so I believe certain ways and actions happen for a reason. I think that Allah is the manager of all things, the controller. He pushing me to what I'm doing, so I got to keep him there. I got to keep God in my talk. I'm not
Yeah,
per se so religious, but I study, and I definitely take the principles of the Quran, the Bible, and I put that in my life. So I think sometimes just sharing some of that shit is helping
yeah,
the listener. You know what I mean? So that's why I do it, man. I'm putting, it's kind of just like
yeah,
more of my experiences. You know what I mean? So I try to add that in where it means something. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people need that little boost of strength, a little piece of light. So I think one line sometimes can change a person's thinking. So I like to include things that are heavy, like religion, spirituality, um, as like an ingredient. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna find a whole song about, religion or nothing for me like that. That's not really my focus. But I think a lot of the subjects, including religious things, Kevlar, Detroit, I sprinkle a little bit of that shit everywhere, so that like you could take a visual map of one of my verses and find a bunch of different connections and references. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that's just part of my personal growth, uh, 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 and
yeah,
sharing it. You know what I mean? You can't be an artist if you don't really share your whole self. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So well, I mean, I guess you can, but for me, I want to share my whole self. You know what I mean? So
The best
that's a
artists
part
do.
of it.
You know, it's
Word
that
up. I agree. I
vulnerability,
agree.
and it's that that
Yes,
you
sir.
listen to somebody's song and you relate with them because of what they're talking about,
Word up.
whether it's what they believe in or
Facts.
what they've lived through. You know, I've heard so many people talk about how hip hop saved their life, and part of it is the artists,
Yeah.
because they were doing something positive. But then for other people, it was the stories, that they heard other people that look like them and people who grew up in situations similar to them and adversity and how they
Right.
overcame,
Right.
and it's those
Right.
stories.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. I think that's the whole point of doing this type of music. Like that we call it hip hop wise. We always call it the
Mm-hmm.
hip hop blues, and I think it's just because you could reach somebody, man. And I've had plenty of rap songs growing up where I caught a line here or I thought something here, and it changed some way that I'm behaving or managing my life. You know what I mean? So this ain't shit but words of wisdom
Ooh,
from the
that's good.
ancestors, man, and passing it to the other generation. You know what I mean? So
That's good.
that's it, man.
That's good.
Pass it along.
My
Mm.
bro, as we start the wrap, I want to make sure that people know how to connect with you. What's if somebody wants to get production or work with you, in a musical capacity or get a verse, if somebody wants to book you for a string of show dates in Europe, you know what I'm saying? Talk to us about what's the right way to do business with Bronze Nazareth.
Yeah, man, you can connect with me, man. Shout out to my dedicated manager and my homeboy, Gage. You can catch him. His emails in my bio on IG. Gage Loose at gmail.com. You know what I mean? That's him. So anything you need from me, hit up my man Gage on Instagram, Twitter, whatever. You can find him easily, and he'll sort it out for you, man.
Beautiful.
You know what I mean?
My bro, it's been an
Well,
honor to interview you. You got an incredible rest of
thank
this
you.
year and 2025 coming up. You got your own project, self-produced, the one by
Yes,
Kev,
sir.
project with Boldy James, project with Terminology. There were some other ones I couldn't even keep track. There's like 7 or 8 of them.
Yeah, we coming, man. Word up. Black Day, baby.
Thank you,
Yep.
my brother. We'll
Yep.
run it back soon. Peace.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you, brother. Peace.